Hey group, today we're out in the desert mountains of West Texas. These are the Davis Mountains. I've come up trail, a few miles, spent the night. Right now what I want to go ahead and show you is an old trail recipe. This is going to be cooking a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. It's a good sized rattlesnake. All fresh meat. That'll look pretty good. I'll show you how to go ahead and skin him and cook him up. The recipe that we're going to be using today is pretty much the first way that I've ever cooked rattlesnake out on trail. And it happened about a dozen miles that way up in the mountains. Now I've got a bit of chupacabra seasoning. I didn't have that at the time. This is what I prefer these days. Works pretty well. When you're at bear boxes in remote camps, you dive in the box and you kind of figure out what you have and you use what you got. So it's kind of like Iron Chef, but survival edition. I also have an onion here. Now out on the trail, back in the day, the onions were the wild ones. And we followed a bit of road there up on top. Every 4 or 5 years, they'll regrade the roads, bring the bulldozers through, and the little bit of lump of soil that would be up on both sides of the road grow a lot of onions. That's what we got right there. Squeezed parquet, it's not made out of butter. I don't know what it is, but I've eaten a lot of it. It stays out there for years and years, and it still works. And lastly, we've got heavy duty Reynolds wrap, aluminum foil. This is good to have anywhere. Barring not having this, a Dutch oven would have worked, but we didn't have one at the time. So we're gonna go ahead and skin this guy out, show you what that's all about. But it comes off pretty easy. The skin will be used, and then we'll show you how to put all these ingredients together to make a meal out on the trail. Get started. Alright. Step one, pull the skin off. You can kind of extrapolate what's happening here. I use a sharp knife. Pretty much go down the belly all the way. It's going to stick up here at the nape of the neck just a bit. It likes to hold, but once you get it going, you can pull the skin all the way off. And go ahead and salt that, roll it up so we can get it all the way back to camp. Snakes are pretty much just a really, really long rack of ribs all the way down. And so all you got to do is pull the guts out of the middle all the way down, and you're going to be left with clean meat and bones, just like if you were to eat ribs. So I'm not eating a rat. I'm not eating what this snake ate his last meal. I am simply pulling everything out and cleaning it up just like you would any other animal. It's just that most creatures have a lot more parts to them. Alright. Skin all the way down the belly. Take the nasty stuff out first before we pull the skin off. Should be able to reach around it. It's just like what you and I have, but it's been extended. So even the stomach, all long ways, everything is extremely long. Yep. Alright. Clean for the most part. Clean it up in a little bit of spring water here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take the skin off. Nape of the neck always holds just a bit. Once you get it started though, usually pretty easy all the way down until you hit what's called the coontail, which are the alternating black and white stripes there at the very end of the snake. And depending on how much you want to keep this thing intact, a lot of times you're going to have to take these two side markers here on either side of the meat. You'll have to manually rip those or clip them with scissors or a knife. Once you get past them, tricky part, I might just force this. Sometimes the tail rips off, the skin portion, Sometimes it comes with you. You know, amateur hour. Okay, rattle's still there. We'll clip that off. Not much meat in there anyway. Here's your skin. We'll roll that up in just a moment. Time to wash this off. Start adding ingredients. Alright, snake's all cleaned up. I do need to remove that tail in just a moment. Time to go after the aluminum foil. Put that right on top. That skin right there. You can probably tell the flies have found us. One of those things cooking in the summertime. Going to get the snake all coiled up because that's how we're going to get it cooked. There's the tail. A little bit of meat there. Pretty little rattler though. So as you can see through this body cavity, we've got an opening all the way down through here. It's all been cleaned up. What we're going to do, we're going to take the onion, slice it up real good, and put it all the way through. I'll go ahead and get this thing going. That'll work. That. A bit of seasoning. There we go. And the fake parquet. Pretty liberal with that stuff. Now it's time to fold this guy up. Get ready for it. Fold over. Wind's not really helping. We're going to crease all down the sides. We'll crease several times. Back and forth. Make sure this is sealed all the way. Just in case, we use one more thing of foil to make sure we don't have any rips, tears, that we lose any moisture at all. Same as before. Tighten it up, and that should keep it as a coil as we cook this. You can add anything to this pack. If you're ever in Scouts, kind of looks like what you would call a silver turtle. Same idea. What's great about the snake is that you can cook it evenly on both sides by simply flipping it when one side's all the way cooked. The butter inside there should steam. The moisture inside there should add to that. Lightly fried, slowly cooked snake. All right. This morning, had our coffee going. Still got some coals down here. rake them around, make sure they're fresh. We're cooking with oak, a little bit of pine, a little bit of juniper, but not open flame and not open meat, so that should be all right. Control your coals. If you've got to move coals to another area, do so. Whew, it's hot. Should cook quickly. There it goes. I hate flies. Got our skin, and we'll be able to freeze this by this evening. We're about to saddle up and take off. You want to have yourself a stick. If I was going to be out on the trail for days and days, go ahead and take a little bit of salt shaker and salt the inside as I was doing this. Make sure you get a stick that's long enough, because these things tend to widen out quite a bit. Drag it through the dirt. Now, what we haven't mentioned just yet, while the snake back here is cooking, is ethics. Make sure what you're doing out here in the wild is ethical and legal. It's good to learn all these skills. It's good to be able to go out in nature and understand how to survive and to utilize it. And it's nice just to go out there and enjoy it and watch it. Now, this rattlesnake here is not from these mountains. We have blacktails back here, not very big. We have little mottled rock rattlers, which are real pretty, but they're chicken nugget size. We have Trans-Pecos copperheads, which are gorgeous, and they do pack a punch. 2 different people got tagged this year. Just happens. Some years you have more things than others. And so, they all require respect. And although young Bob, back in the day, did consume rattlesnakes on trail and handled them more often than present day Bob is comfortable with, I would not do so now. And it's not really a reason for it these days either. I was eating a lot of Spam back then, but we have a lot more options. So go to the store, buy yourself some food, and let the rattlesnakes go on their way. Besides, back here in this country, you don't want any kind of mistakes like this. Go ahead and put these in the saddlebags. Check on our food. The horses are ready to go. I'm gonna flip this over. We do have a shovel, but do not want to mess up the foil. I hear something coming by. Y'all might be able to hear that sizzle coming from the rattlesnake. Coming down trail, sounds like we got some horses. Here we go. So flip this gently. Good sounds. And I hear caballos back there somewhere. That's what our horses are talking to. Whole bunch of horses back here coming through the canyon. Another 15 minutes. Rattlesnake ought to be cooked. Come back. So, these horses, these are part of the Buffalo Trail Scout Ranch horse program. They run all through the summer, and we're starting back up to run in the off season. So 5 days or 5 nights out on trail summertime, all throughout this rugged country, high adventure. And in the winter, 2 nights and then 3 nights are going to be offered and available. So cabins, ways to stay warm, nice beds, some places. But if you're looking for an adventure, this is it. At least for the South, Buffalo Trail Scout Ranch Cavalcade. Check it out. All right. Just a visit. Go get some water and then go back up on top. It's more good pasture. Pretty awesome, huh? Alright. Moment of truth. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, sounds like fajitas. It's definitely not fajitas. Taste tester, you over here? Come on up. Never really been one for snake. I'm starting to smell it already. Let's see what we got. There we go. Those onions caramelized really nicely. A little bit of snake juices in there, which I'm sure y'all are all about. Everybody's just really enjoying this. I understand this is extremely hot. Before I dive in, I have to let it cool down. Unless I want to burn myself. Onion though. Here we go. Let it cool down. And then we'll dig in. You sure, Huck? No, going after those flies. Alright, let's cool down a bit. And I already stole just a small piece. It does smell good. I'm going to flip the snake over if I can. Well cooked. Alright, so snakes, it's just a long neck or a long rack of ribs that don't have the back strap taken out. So all the way down, all the way around is back strap. So the two muscles there in your back. What you're going to go ahead and do is go down to where the vertebrae is, that bone, your backbone, and you're going to peel back one side of it. Whew, still hot. And then it'll strip out into pieces. That's how that looks. Perfect. So just pull strips out all the way down the body. It tastes like long tuna. Pretty much tuna that's extremely long. That's the best I can do as far as description. It's got the butter on it. Cooking it this way, you really don't get the reptile grease flavor that you will just cook it at shore of the fire where it drips. Huckleberry, you wanna try this? Come here. Come on. This is good. Okay. Huckleberry. Okay. 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 Judge me. Every time. Well, this is the way I like rattlesnake. I have bacon wrapped it. I've cooked it straight over the campfire quite a few times. But this is the first way that I learned how to do it out on the trail. And with all the butter and the onions, throw some garlic in there. You really can't go wrong. Try things out. Again, make sure that you're ethical when you do so. And make sure you cook it all the way through, even your insects. Good stuff. Also, after you're done eating everything you can, try and get all the meat in between the ribs. Throw it in a pot with a lot of water, cook it down. Snake stew by this evening. Reclaim all the seasonings, all the goodness. Hope you learned a little bit. Hope you enjoyed kind of a window into our life, such as it is. Now, this trail is located again in the Davis Mountains. This is part of the Buffalo Trail Scout Ranch. So for those of you that have come and ride with me over the years, or maybe you've gone backpacking back in these beautiful canyons, this location might make sense to you. We're on the Green Trail near the pole pins, which is that structure over there that we have our horses tied up to. So when y'all wonder where I've gotten a lot of the skills that I show, it's because of time out here, and the people that I got to interact with, and the opportunities that I had to come out, survive, learn, make mistakes without dying, and try again. And it's made me who I am. So please like, comment, tell us what you think about all this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, until next time, y'all be good.